Hello viewers, this is Dr. Rajul Dutt. I welcome you back in the second lecture of the part of marketing information and research. In the previous lecture on marketing information and research, I have discussed about introduction to MIS, that is marketing information system, followed by the definition of marketing research and understanding of the objectives of marketing research. In this video, I will cover the scope of marketing research, followed by the significance, advantages, and the limitations of marketing research. And in continuation with this topic, I will discuss marketing research process in the third video. Now coming back to the present video, marketing research is the intelligent service of business enterprise. What does it relate? It relates that when we talk about research and information and research, so it is the intelligence part is that we get the information from the outside world and from the internal world, internal to the organization. What are the various aspects related to or the various problems in within the organization, and the outside, which we call it as the micro and the macro environmental factors, those. So we get the information, we try to get the information through the research process, so that it helps us to take the decision as, or the marketing manager, it gets the help to the marketing manager to take appropriate decisions at appropriate time. It means careful and objective study of product design. So this marketing information and research, or the marketing research, it is related to the careful and objective study. Objective study is a meaningful study, that is the objective or the problem is clear to the investigator. Here the investigator could be the marketing manager, or he can hire the specialized people to for the research purpose, for the product design, as to what should be the features or the size and structure of the product. The markets are related to the segment of the consumers, as to which segment the product is to be catered to. And transfer activities is related to the physical distribution, warehousing. And now when we talk about physical distribution of the product, there are two aspects related to it. One is that from the point of manufacture to the displacement of the product, or the movement of the product from the point of manufacture to the point of consumption, that is from manufacturer to wholesaler to retailer, and finally reaches to the consumer. Another aspect of the physical distribution is the logistics aspects, that is how the product will be transported from the point of manufacture to the point of consumption, that is destination of the for the product, for distribution. And warehousing, advertising, and sales management, that is the promotional aspects related to it. So marketing research covers all these aspects, and the marketing manager tries to gain as much information related to these aspects. So this leads to understand as to what is the scope of marketing research. So in this, the first is product research. It is associated with the conversion of customer needs into tangible product offer. Now this includes the maybe testing of the new products, the existing products we want to test. The new product, we developed a new product and we test the new product by launching into the market. That is what we call it a test marketing, to get the information or to get the feedback from the customers about the new product, or maybe improving the existing products if there are certain things, if there are certain deficiencies in the existing product. So we gather the information and then try to improve upon those aspects. Maybe the changing customer preferences and habits. Now this again is very important, because the customer tastes and preferences, they ought to change quite often, and therefore and accordingly we have to make the changes as a marketing manager, has to make the changes in the products as to what the customer demands. So the second is the customer research. This research includes investigation into the customer or consumer buying behavior, or even a buyer behavior, that is social, cultural, personal, and psychological influences. Now, when this is what we meant by the buyer's characteristics. It is very important for any marketing manager to investigate about the characteristics of the buyer, and the main aspects and these characteristics are the social, cultural. So when we talk about social, it is related to the reference groups, the family, the roles and status of the consumer. The cultural, of course, includes the culture, the subculture, and the social class. The social class is related to whether it is a middle level, or the lower level, or the higher level in terms of the income, and the personal characteristics of the consumer, that by and large takes into consideration, like the age and the life cycle stage, the occupation, the economic, this lifestyle, personality, self concept, all these factors, and again the psychological factors related to motivation, perception, learning, beliefs, and attitude. So this is again a part of the consumer buying behavior, or customer buying behavior, or buying behavior. We'll study in the forthcoming videos. So all these will be dealt in detail there. Then again, another research is related to the sales. The sales research, it involves decisions concerning selection of the store location, channel, that is channel members, the wholesalers and the retailers, territories, as to which territory to cater. For example, territories may be in terms of the north, south, east, west, central, and other on within the north, whether it is be, for example, Uttar Pradesh or Haryana, or for example, Punjab, etc. Sales force motivation and compensation. Sales force motivation is because the sales force, they play a very important role, and there are various aspects. One is related to compensation, is the salary aspect, and the other motivational factors is their promotions, their recognition being given by the organization. So all these decisions comes under the sales research. And fourth is the promotion research. It includes all efforts by marketers to communicate the company's offer. Now, company's offer is related to the as to what the product has to offer in terms of the product benefits, in terms of its price, in terms of its availability, and how to reach to the maximum number of people. So it includes how can we reach to the people by and large, to educate them, to inform them about the organization, about the product and its benefits, so on and so forth. So the various tools we have in promotion is advertising, sales promotion, personal selling, publicity, and direct marketing. So these are the areas where research need to be done as far as marketing is concerned. So next comes the significance of marketing research. Now, when we talk about the significance of the marketing research, it is important to as to why it has become over a period of time. The organizations, they have felt that it is very important to learn about the marketing, its environment, about the customers, so that the strategy can be can be developed according to the requirement. So when we talk about marketing concept again is the concept that it is customer oriented concept. That is when the organizations think, when the marketing manager think that the organization, the very purpose of any business organization should be the customers. So the customers are at the very first and at the very last stage of the whole marketing process. So this is what it is meant by the marketing concept. So it can claim the customer oriented without the performance of the marketing research function. Second is to synchronize the production and consumption. It is where the marketing plays an important role, so that there is generally a time lag between the production and the consumption due to large scale production. The greater the time lag, the greater is the need for marketing research. The taste and behavior of the customers, they changes very fast. So it becomes always necessary to have the information in time and to implement the information in time. Implementation again here is to convert the the problems of the people into tangible products for the consumers. The third is to reduce the uncertainty by providing information that facilitates decision making. So, the main part of marketing research is to provide the necessary information to the marketing researcher, or to the, for here in case, the marketing manager, so that he can take a wise decision into the prevailing circumstances or the prevailing environment he is operating in. And this is the marketing research it gives, and all the businesses, we know that all the businesses, they operate into uncertainty. And when we talk about uncertainty, it is closely related with the high risk involved in any business organization, and therefore it gives it becomes very evident, it becomes very important to have the information, or to get the information to facilitate in the decision making. It is only then the decision making becomes much more appropriate if the information is provided, as I earlier said, in time to the decision maker. Now, the fourth is intuitive research, which is research-oriented approach. Now, research-oriented approach is what the facts and figures being available or gathered or analyzed, and the report has been made. This is one aspect. Another aspect is related to the intuitive research. Intuitive research is the intuitions of the researcher. Maybe, for example, there can be biasness. So maybe the research, the facts and figures, they result into, they give a certain, explanation about a particular problem, about, or the result, they give result about a particular problem. But intuitive is whether it is right or wrong, whether to take a decision or not. So these two aspects on the as far as the researcher is concerned, one, and the decision maker. Here the decision maker in a business organization is the marketing manager. So his both these aspects, they are very important in decision making. Now, having said and having discussed this, let's see about as to what are the various advantages of marketing research. To summarize it is forecasting. Marketing research, it helps in forecasting. Forecasting is related to the as to in terms of the sales volume, in terms of the profits to be gathered. So one aspect of marketing research is as to how much the company will be able to sell, or what is the volume of the market segment or the consumer segment. Rightful promotion is to develop a marketing mix, promotional mix, not marketing mix, it is a promotional mix. Promotional mix includes advertising, sales promotion, personal selling. Now, for example, if the product is of, say, some engineering aspect is related to it, or mechanical aspects are related with the product, so therefore there the personal selling plays an important role, because there are certain aspects which the customer wants to know as to how to operate the particular product. So there we require maybe the technical personal selling, and those are the various aspects. And advertising is in for general, when you through advertising you reaches to the lakhs and lakhs of the consumer at one time. So these are the various aspects as to how to make a promotion. Now, this is again dependent upon the what is the say the budget allocated for this. So it helps in allocating the budget also for the promotional aspects. Now, third is the understanding of new markets. So when we go to the market, or when we want to get the pulse of the market, it becomes very evident to go out and to search for a new market, or to understand the new market. And the new market means that when you are coming out with altogether a new product, when you're launching the product into for the first time into the market, so therefore one has to understand as to how to develop a new set of customers, or as to how to cater to the requirements. And when we talk about catering the requirements of the customers, it is understanding them in terms of their buyer behavior, or in terms of their influences on particular customers. This again, and assessment of middlemen. Assessment of the middlemen is related to as to how many retailers are required, and how many wholesalers for that matter are required. This assessment is again to take a stock of, for example, in a particular place maybe the customers are less, so therefore you require less retail outlets, or less number of the salespeople to reach to the consumers and to cater to the requirement. And if there is, for example, in a particular area the number of customers are more, so therefore you require more of the retailers and more of the salesmen to cater to the requirement. And the suitability of the channels. The suitability of the channel is as to, again, it is related to the number and the types of the channel members, and looking into looking into the product aspects into it. If the product is technical, you may have a direct channel. If the product is non-technical, maybe for example shopping goods type, so you can have a long channel. And therefore it helps, the research helps in to understand as to what would be the best way to reach to the people in the low cost aspects also. So all these aspects are also related with the investments to be made. Now, the last part of the topic, last part of this video is the limitation of marketing research. Now, when there are the advantages, so there ought to be certain limitations in research, and that when marketing research, one is huge expenditure. Now, this huge expenditure is related to, because you require so much, maybe in terms of money, maybe in terms of time. A lot of time is spent on research, a lot of money is being flushed out by the organizations. One may get the results, one may not get the results, and therefore uh, all the organizations cannot even afford the research, the money spent on the research aspects. Bias in collecting data. This is one of the one of the important aspect in collecting the data. The researchers, they sometimes tends to, not deliberately, but it is a human weakness that the researcher becomes biased in collecting the data. Unpredictable human behavior. This is again in terms of the person to whom the researcher is heading to, is asking for the behavior of the human behavior. For consumer behavior, it is very unpredictable. People, they may commit something, they may tell you something which may or may not be right. So it depends again on the intelligence of the researcher to understand as to how much is the right kind of answer the person is giving. Now, that leads to it requires competent researcher. Competent researchers is again the person who is able to understand the various research processes, tools and techniques to solve, and one is to understand as to what the other people or the is saying. No time gap allowed between research and its implementation. This is one of the most limited, because all the researchers, they are subject to certain problem which is prevailing. So as and when there should not be any gap between the research and its implementation. If the implementation takes a longer time, so the research or the findings of the research may not be appropriate, because as I've discussed earlier also, the outer environment changes very fast. So maybe no matter how much good the findings are, no much how much hard work has gone into, but if it is not implemented in time, the desired result will not be obtained, and it is all the research, they are just supplementary and not the substitute to the problem. So this helps us. Supplementary here means the research all just helps us in taking the decisions, and decisions are based on the certain facts, and also on the base of the intuitive aspects of the researcher. Thank you so much. In the third video will be continued, and I will discuss on the marketing research process.